What's up, guys? Welcome to A Restar's Life. My name is Chris. Thank you so much for joining me. Today in the Facebook group, somebody asked, how long do I need to list before I get consistent results? And that's why today's topic is me listing for 9 weeks straight and how that affected my store. So the reason why I bring up this number 9 weeks, you're definitely not going to get an awesome eBay store in 9 weeks. If anyone that's telling you that is actually trying to sell you something, it's going to take way longer than that. It's going to take you probably 6 months to a year of consistent listing before you get consistent results. The reason why I bring up 9 weeks is because that's how long it takes to develop a new habit. And in this case, what you need to get going to build giant results in your eBay store is a small listing habit. So I've included notes to today's discussion in every single episode on this new cheat sheet I made called bit.ly/reseller instructions that's free. So I'm going to include all of the overviews and summaries of every episode inside of this document. So you can watch the episode and come here and see all the notes, because I need to do this because now I'll have like 1,000 episodes and there's so much information that I really just want to put it in one place for everybody to come check out. So I have been listing more than 40 items into my store for 500 days. Okay, so we're like a year and a couple months into this, listing every single day more than 40. I averaged last year 80 every single day, but it started to really change after around 2 or 3 months of listing. So as you guys know, and I appreciate the support, my wife and I are having a baby in about 3 months. And I haven't revealed this on the channel yet, but we are having a girl. So I'm very excited. I hope that she is not as big of a pain in the butt as I think she's going to be, because I'm very independent. My wife's very independent. So we're probably going to have a child that's very independent. And if it's anything like karma, it's probably going to be completely unpredictable, like the things that I think in my life that are predictable. But the reason why I bring that up is because there's been 2 pieces of recommendations that I've been getting over and over again, so I wanted to share them with you. One is the book Babywise. So I have this in my book list, which is in this document, but it's bit.ly/ecom books. But honestly, Babywise is one of the best e-commerce books I've ever read. It's like exactly what people need. Instead of sleep training, you need to be list trained. Okay, so I see people that are, more than anything, I hear people complaining about, man, I cannot list. The thing is, you never had a listing habit. You need to crawl before you can walk before you can run before you can sprint. And you're comparing yourself to Tekken Sports, and the guy that I run this Facebook group with, he's listing 250 items a day. That's like ultra marathon speed. Okay, if you can't just go from being a baby to this level in a week, it's going to take a long time. It's going to take 9 weeks just to develop the habit of listing in general. It might take you 12 years, like this gentleman, to be able to crush 250 listings every single day for 365 days a year. That is no joke. But again, you have to start with the basics, right? So this book really is amazing to me, because the idea of it is to set it up so that your baby can eventually sleep through the night. What we want to do is make sure that we cultivate a listing habit, because that is the difference between a beginner and someone who's been doing it for a long time. So let's look over 3 case studies. So I want to look over 3 stores that make 6 figures on eBay, and I'm going to be doing more and more case studies so that we can just copy the people who are doing things really well. So here we have Goose Guy 84. This guy's name is Brian. He's got over $1 million listed in his store. So this is important to realize, that you need to look at how many items do you have in your store and for how much. I'll give you guys a breakdown and compare it to my store real quick. In the active section, I have roughly $200,000 worth of stuff listed, and that'll give you an idea of where you want to be based on how much stuff you have for sale. Brian is over 1 million, so he has 5 times as much stuff in his 5 times the value of my store with less items. Okay, so you can see his average sale price. If we just do $1 million, 3 divided by 7,119, you can see that he has, an average sale price of $140. My average sale price is only $27. So he has like 6.5 times higher ASP than mine. And it's kind of funny. I mean, actually not funny, but I sell 4 times as many items as him, but he still has more revenue because he has, remember, say it with me, a really strong listing habit. Okay, so definitely smash the like button if you want to develop a listing habit, but you don't get 7,119 items without a strong listing habit. And the way that he does his photos is truly something that you can learn from. They are all identical. Each thing that you can do to make the photos look professional, to add a watermark, to add really straight logo shots, pictures of all the hardware, pictures of all the detail. That's what's required to sell things for $10,000, because this level of customer really needs that attention to detail in order to pay you the big bucks. So look through the store, get an idea of how people present their items. I think this jacket was $60,000 brand new. So you can go through here, look at the level of detail. You know, this person, Brian, spent more time on just one set of photos than maybe people spend on their entire stores, but also was able to do 7,000 items. So people say, well, I'm a perfectionist, so I can't have a big store. Are your pictures this good? Probably not. Okay, this takes a lot of work. So this person is a perfectionist and they put in the work. So don't use perfectionism as an excuse. It's not an excuse. There's plenty of people who have giant stores with good photos too. These close-up pictures of the button really make me happy because, you know, with the human eye, you never see your button really up this close. So this is really cool because the customer is actually getting maybe even a better experience than in person, because you can't even see that well. Your eyes don't have this zoom feature. So I love super straight pictures of tags because it makes the perceived value just so much higher. So this store is cool. You can see that this person has over $1 million listed. They charge for shipping, and wait for it, the seller does not accept returns. No returns, and they charge for shipping. Okay, so this probably fits in a padded flat rate envelope. However, even if he ships it in a medium flat rate box, he's still making money because he's charging $9.99 for shipping. It's important to understand that there is no one way to do eBay. Okay, so I'm going to compare this with WowNiceShirt, another excellent store, almost 50,000 feedback. They've been doing it a really long time. I wanted to show some super premium items that are kind of interesting. You can see here, you guys know, 2020 was a hell of a year. We lost Kobe Bryant. He has 4 suits that were custom made by Gucci for Kobe Bryant. I mean, that is some really, really, really on point, expensive, amazing, rare thing that I would probably pay for the subtitle on this and talk about the history of it a little bit. But you can get an idea of the difference between this store, right, which is all of the items were purchased by WowNiceShirt. There is no consignment. And as Tech and Sports would say, there's no halvesies. He's not splitting the income with anyone. So even though he has 1,807 items, he might be making more money than this consignment shop that has 7,119 items. So people will ask me, how do I set up consignment? And this is what I say. Success always leaves clues. So let's see if we can figure out, from doing some homework on this, where the consignment comes from. So if I click on the item, I click on this guy's feedback, I'll actually see this logo right here, tailored consignment. And you guys saw that earlier as a watermark on the photos. So what I would do is Google tailored consignment to find out if there's a website. Amazingly, there is. You can see all the terms of the consignment shop. You can look at how this person built their business. You can reverse engineer almost anything because success leaves clues. So take a look at your favorite stores. Message me, DM me your favorite stores if you want me to review them for you. And we can take a look and find out what they're doing well and what they're not doing well. One thing I really like about these high-end stores is a lot of the times they'll include more natural looking photos that are not white background. So you can bet that this store knows how to take photos any way they want to. Why would they take it with this gray background? Because in my opinion, this looks more natural. This looks like what it would look like on your body. So I really like the extra care in setting up different types of backgrounds for different types of buyers. Black is also historically very difficult to photograph. So it makes sense that it's in a more natural background versus trying to get that pure white, which is really, really hard with an all black item. So this is very cool. This person's been doing it a really long time. You can see here they have free shipping and free returns, and the previous store charged for shipping and had no returns. Okay, there is no one way to do eBay. The one way to do eBay is just list a lot. Okay, so when you say you're a reseller, if I ask you how many items you list and you don't know, that doesn't reflect well upon you. What I hear a lot from resellers is, I've been reselling for 13 years, but I don't know, because I've never met you, how many items you listed or how consistent you listed. If you've been listing on eBay for 13 years, but you list an average of 2 items per day, that's not very impressive. But if you just started and you're averaging 2 listings a day, it's very impressive. Okay, so it depends on where you are in your journey. So don't beat yourself up, because everyone, again, need to learn how to crawl before you can walk, before you can run, before you can ultra marathon. Okay, it takes time. Now I want to bring up my friend Matt. He's One Luxotic Thread. And the reason why I like looking at Matt's store is because he has a photo box that he takes pictures on, and they make the pictures look extraordinary. So here you have a pair of Gucci boots. And the way that Matt takes his pictures, the actual surface is lit. It's on an LED plexiglass bottom. So it makes the items look like they're floating, which is really cool to me. Although I do think some buyers ask him, like, what do these really look like? Because you normally do not have any pictures in real life that the photos will look like that. So it's a little bit confusing maybe as the buyer trying to figure out what they actually look like. But if I was in the market for some Gucci caramel boots, this would be right up my alley. Although this is a little rich for my blood, but $800 for this pair of boots positioned like this is very cool. And I also like that he charges for shipping and has no returns. So again, it depends on what kind of items you have. There are stores that are all free shipping, free returns. You just got to really pay attention to what you're selling, because everybody is different. So back to Babywise for just a moment. I want to talk about habits really being the basis of everything. And we're going to go over the power of habit later this week. You really are just as successful as your habits. If you have a listing habit, your average listing habit will be your average sales. Okay, to give you an idea of, you could tell me how many items you list per day and what kind of items you list per day, and I can kind of guess how much money your store makes. Okay, that's really it. You've got to work on all of your habits. You've got to make sure you maintain the relationships with the people you care about. You've got to make sure that you maintain the relationship with eBay that you want. You've got to make sure you take advantage of staying in good health if you can. All that stuff is related. Okay, there is no one-size-fit-all approach to this. You've got to just do the best you can with what you have. You don't want to get so rich that you ignore everything and go home to a house full of strangers. You also don't want to spend so much time with your family that you didn't make any money to support them in case something happened or you had an emergency. So again, you have to do everything. You have to think about your habits. If you set them up right, though, then you can actually have your habits systematically help you reach your goals without even feeling the heat. Just because let's say you increase your number of listings 1 every single week. Honestly, I guarantee you will not feel the difference. But after an entire year, you'll be listing 52 more items per week. At $10 profit, you're making $500 more a week for something that you won't even notice. You will not notice listing 1 more item per week than the previous week. It's not a big enough change that you'll notice. But if you stack that, like the book Atomic Habits, which is also on this list, and from earlier in the series, habit stacking is massive and will put you in a tremendous, tremendous place. So before we go, again, smash the like button, but I do need some help. Some people have asked about our baby registry, so I put it in here. But I need some help with girl names. So that would be really useful. I'm glad that we're having a girl and not a guy, because girl names are a lot easier. So I read this book, Oh Boy, You're Having a Girl, and they likened it to like March Madness. There's like the classic names that always get in there, like Emily, Jessica, the classic names that are strong, powerful. Those get into the Sweet 16 every single year. But then there's some newcomers, right, that are like Emma or Natalie or Natalia or Olivia. These are really popular names that, have made it into the ether. And then again, sometimes there's something way out of left field like Marshmallow that ends up being the girl's name. So let me know what you think and what's a good name, what's a bad name. But certainly glad that I'm having a girl, because guy names was very difficult. Couldn't think of very many guy names that we liked. So appreciate you guys' time. Smash the like button, read Babywise even if you don't have any kids, because essentially we're all big babies, or at least I'm a big baby. So I like looking at it and seeing how to sleep train or list train myself into getting the results that I want. Thank you so much, guys. My ambition is your success. Until we meet again, make progress daily.